Today we're going to be talking about in the title how the and fall of rise again and fall again of Vinicius Jr. Vinicius Jr. started out his career at Flamengo in 2017. And I don't want to bore you guys, but first of all, we have to talk about the build up before we talk about what this video is mainly about. Vinicius Jr. was born in 2000, July 12th. And then at 16 years of age before he joined in 2017 Real I mean not Real Flamengo 2017. During his time at Flamengo, he played 69 games and scored 14 goals. Now, at first, that might seem as bad stuff, but he still had some flair with him, and that caught the attention of Real Madrid. And then he ended up joining Real Madrid at 2018, and Zinedine Zidane just left. So for wait, so for a period, so he idolized Zidane as a manager, and he always wanted to play under his system, but his Zidane was gone, so then he played under Santiago Solari, who was manager for a very short time. And in that no, we don't need that. We don't need that. But in that period of time, he showed little glimpses of brilliance. But Solari wasn't really that good, and Real Madrid weren't in a good state. And but Vinicius was playing like he was the best player in the team. And then Santiago Solari left, and then after that, Vinicius got to go under Zinedine Zidane, who previously coached Real Madrid from 2016 to 2018, winning 3 Champions Leagues in a row, which is an incredible achievement if you don't know football. But then after that, then after that, Zinedine Zidane put Vinny in a style of play where he wasn't at his best. And then now the main player was Karim Benzema, who had to carry the team because the team wasn't exactly that good after 2018 when Cristiano Ronaldo left Real Madrid. But well, that's a story for another day. But then Vinicius Jr. was playing bad and was heavily criticized from the fans. And one thing that showed in that time was his ego. And if you watch football, and you'll see that this guy has such a big mouth. He'll trash talk about players. He'll annoy you and get into your head as a dirty player. And but then after he became so hated, people started doing saying racial slurs to him, which of course is not okay. And then Vinicius Jr. recreated a thing where he was like crying, basically. But in 2020, it was an El Clasico, and this is where he started to show some respect because after Real Madrid won, he consoled Lionel Messi one of the greatest players in the world. Not really that kind, considering Lionel Messi is like a very good person. Of course, most people would console him, but still a good act. Then after that, Vinicius later. And then after that, Vinicius continued his bad ego. But then in 2021, in somewhere like in June 11th, Zinedine Zidane left the club and not Shabby Alonso, I mean like Carlo Ancelotti joined. And this is where everything flipped. Real Madrid were going into the 21-22 season. And in the past three seasons, even though they've been strong domestically over their rivals, it has been a disaster for them. They were not playing like Real Madrid. They hadn't won a Champions League in those years. So so Carlo Ancelotti, who even previously coached them in 2014 and won them a Champions League, and in 2015, the first half, Real Madrid had a dominant win streak before he got sacked. But then Carlo Ancelotti rejoined, and then Carlo Ancelotti played Vinny in a system where he was free. And then he can also link up with Karim Benzema. And here's where Vinicius Jr. started to ball out. He was still egotistic, he was still provoking other players, but he was actually doing a good job. And then Karim Benzema, who's the striker up top, will go and finish off the goals, and he even had Karim Benzema won the Ballon d'Or. But Vinny also had a good season. And then Real Madrid have had won their 14th Champions League. And then heading into the 22-23 season, all the eyes were on Vinny because in the 22 to 23 season, Karim Benzema started to dip in form. But Vinny was still doing good. Real Madrid was still a foundation. But then Barcelona came, and in the Clásicos, they kept on winning. And then eventually, but then in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, they they got embarrassed 5-1 on aggregate against Manchester City. And they ended up losing the La Liga to Barcelona. And for Real Madrid, who was a big club, this was not acceptable. But then in 23-24, Carlo Ancelotti made and Real Madrid signed Jude Bellingham, who started to link up with Vidi, causing a huge unstoppable duel between them. And then in that season they beat Barcelona 4-1, 3-2, and they beat Dortmund in the final 2-0 to win their 15th Champions League and won the La Liga. But then in the 24-25 season, here's where things started to dip. In the first half of the 24-25 season, Vinicious Jr. had been playing good, and then he thought he would win the Ballon d'Or, and then he thought he deserved it. So one thing he did, he partnered up with his sponsorship Nike, got custom boots for Ballon d'Or for his Ballon d'Or win. But then Fabrizio Romano, the journalist, highlighted that he will not win the Ballon d'Or and then Vinicius Jr. boycotted the award. And this credibility, and then after that, it got all into his head and he started dipping in performance. And then Kylian Mbappe, the new signing, start after a rough start, he started getting over Vinny. And Vinny kept on playing badly. Bellingham also played badly. So the only people who are playing good in Real Madrid was the goalkeeper, Thibaut Courtois, Federico Valverde, Kylian Mbappe, and Arda. Those four players. And then Vinicius Jr. was starting to get into more egotistic things. And then Kylian Mbappe trying to calm him down. And then after that, the 25-26 season, which is the current season right now, started. And Vinicius Jr. was again hugely criticized. And then against Oviedo, he was playing badly somewhat. And then Kylian Mbappe is going to go. And then Vinicius was shouting at someone, I think it was the ref. But then Mbappe covered his mouth, saying, "Sorry, you'll score too. Just stop." And then, as we know it, Vinny went on to score. And then after that, one of his he showed that he was going to be good in performance, and just a little bit of a glimpse of hope against Levante, where he assisted Mbappe and scored a beautiful Trivela. And then after then after that then after that the Ballon d'Or happened again, and then he boycotted it again, and Usman Dembele ended up winning. And then as you know it, he started to dip in performance. He showed that against Karat in the Champions League. But and then he was playing bad against Villarreal, but and then Kylian Mbappe was the penalty taker, got a penalty, and instead of taking it himself, he gave it to Vinny, and Vinny scored. So as you know it, Vinicius Jr. is still trying to go back to his previous ones. If you're stating his best one, best season, I think it's either 21, 22, or 23, 24. But anyways, Vinicius Jr. as a Barca fan, he's not my favorite player, but I hope he has a good career. And that's it for today. Bye.